Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope I am able to do justice to the very rich and active discussion on the topic of water, innovation, and partnerships that we held today. I should say we are blessed with superb presenters, as well as with very active audience members representing business, civil society, and other stakeholder groups. We began with a fundamental proposition, next slide please, that water will be one of the defining environmental, ecological, economic, social, development, and business issues of the 21st century. Now that's saying a lot, I know, but our session really confirmed this view, recognizing just how cross-cutting water is and its linkage to other key areas such as food and energy and some of the other topics that we've discussed today. Next slide, please. Our group recognized that water and sanitation issues will be exacerbated in the coming years and decades as a result of population growth, urbanization patterns, industrialization, and of course, climate change. And indeed, in recent years, the materiality of water to the private sector has been increasingly recognized, and here are just two testimonials, perspectives, first from Business for Social Responsibility and from J.P. Morgan on the risk factors that companies are facing. Our session stressed the need really for a new corporate water paradigm, or sustainable water management, if you will, that encompasses at least four dimensions we discussed. First, economic sustainability of the company and the economy. Second, social sustainability in terms of the well-being of citizens and communities. Thirdly, environmental sustainability in terms of the health of ecosystems and biodiversity. And lastly, institutional sustainability in terms of partnering with water managers and public authorities where appropriate to ensure that they are able to function over the long term. The group noted several important trends and imperatives listed on this slide. First, the need for multi-stakeholder partnerships at all levels, global initiatives like the CO Water Mandate or Alliance for Water Stewardship, regional and local partnerships. Second, that important technologies and solutions exist today, but need to be applied. Some are ancient, like rain harvesting, and others are much more high-tech, like water purification and filtration systems, etc. Third, that water scarcity and stress occur at a local level, and that the associated watersheds need to be the focus of the attention and action, so very much the local notion of water. In this regard, companies need to think beyond their fence lines and understand their wider social and environmental impacts within watersheds and including their supply chains. Thanks. The group then focused its attention on the topic of partnerships at the community level and identified several success factors and considerations. First, the business must embrace this broad notion of water sustainability or stewardship. Second, that the strong and passionate leadership of motivated individuals within organizations at the community level will be crucial in terms of advancing this agenda. And third, that companies and other community stakeholders could begin by uniting around education campaigns on the importance of water resources. And we shared one case of a company using murals in the community, painting on murals to convey key messages on water stewardship. And finally, that companies should place a premium on transparency and inclusiveness as they implement their water strategies. Next, please. The group then turned its attention to technology and innovation with the following key points. First, there is a significant opportunity space to apply new and emerging technologies. Many of the most water-stressed regions of the world use none of these, and this needs to change clearly. Second, and related, there needs to be more analysis to map technologies and needs, and here academia and academic institutions, I think, could play a key role in terms of research in this area. Third, there was a feeling that issues around patents and proprietary technologies could be managed effectively. And lastly, some in our group suggested the development of water credits to enable technology transfers. And with that, I thank you for your time and attention. I hope I did justice to the panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Gavin. Just one missing, which is mine. Energy, water, and all natural resources, or all resources, are mostly consumed in urban areas and in cities. But we see that in the global discussions, you have governments, we have business more and more, we have civil societies, but we don't have enough city mayors, who at the end of the day, the change is done at their level, and that's the practical level where we can effectively deliver the change towards low-carbon economy and green economy. So the purpose of our group, the objective was trying to see to what extent these cities can become not a laboratory, but really where we can do the work. We know that in the next, at least by 2030, 70 to 80%, depending on the statistics and the population growth, on what the minimum will be 70% will be living in urban areas, which will imply not less than 70%, up to 80% of resources consumed in the cities, with all their impact on energy, CO2 emission, waste management, and so on. So the role of the cities in the future is extremely important, trying to see how, at that level, we can effectively promote these low-carbon economies. But this requires a certain number of measures. The group have been focusing very clearly on the role of governments, city mayors, industry, and the civil society, the citizens themselves. The issue, of course, will change from a small city to a bigger city, but the problems are the same in order to see how we will be able to confront them. The difficulty is to how we can put together around the same table the national representatives, the city representatives, the business sector, and the civil society in order to discuss jointly on a common issue and move ahead. We learned from a company, Siemens, who will be presenting it, and other companies can tell you exactly the same. We do have all the technology we want if we want to go energy efficient, if you want to go low carbon, if you want to improve our management of water, if you want to properly manage our waste, and so on. So technology do exist. Of course, we can improve it, but for what we have, we can already make a tremendous change. But it's not happening. There are reasons for that. It's a matter of having the right knowledge, having access to those technologies, being able to implement them, and having the proper governance system at the city level that will allow that those technologies can effectively be implemented and that we will improve resource efficiency at the city level. It's increasingly important to consider a city as an entity from an ecological footprint point of view.